Republican Senator Bob Corker and Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill have proposed the Commitment to American Prosperity Act, which would cap discretionary and non-discretionary spending over a 10-year period. The bill aims to bring spending down from its current level at 24.7% of GDP to 20.6%.
What this bill does is it forces us, as Senator McCaskill just said, to look at the long haul, to look at it over time. One of the things that I find fascinating about this place is we never have a plan. We never have any idea where we're going. It's the most amazing place in the world. What we do is argue over the shiny objects each year, which take us no place, and we never have a plan. And so what this does is...
We have re-election plans.
Yeah, we have re-election plans, and that's why we argue over the shiny objects,
That's exactly
I might
right.
add. So, or the things that basically you ask us about in the hallways that generate a lot, which we appreciate. But the fact is that what this does is, for the first time, it would lay out a target, and we could work through it in a pragmatic way, which my sense is all of us did in our other lives prior to getting here.
The sponsors and co-sponsors of the bill were asked at the press conference announcing the legislation if they would support cutting the salaries of federal employees. For the year 2009, the Bureau of Economic Analysis has reported that the federal worker compensation, including benefits, averaged $123,049, more than double the private sector at $61,051. Do you support cutting salaries for federal workers to get the fiscal situation in this country under control?
If someone else want to answer, I'm glad to.
You know, that's the kind of question that causes us a lot of problems because it's a micro approach to a macro problem. When I ran my business, if I had to make cuts in personal services, I did it through attrition and management of my hiring. You don't want to pull out an individual worker and say, okay, we're going to have to cut all of them. You look in the macro sense, like Bob and Claire are doing over a 10-year period of time. You can do remarkable things to change your spending without picking out one worker, isolating them, and say, well, we're going to cut you. So I think the answer is this is a macro approach. And if we take micro examples and try and apply them, all you're going to end up doing is creating animosity or inhibitant toward looking at it in total. This gives us a macro picture and a glide path to accomplish that. And then you can do it through the management of the government over time rather than an isolated one-year period.
And, you know, I mean, if it means that since we have dozens of job training programs in dozens of different agencies that duplicate efforts to train workers in this country, and most of them have no measure of whether they're succeeding or failing, if through attrition or deciding that some of those programs can be combined, that means that we have fewer workers. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's saving money. That is also good management. And we shouldn't, you know, I think one of the problems we have on this subject is way too many people who run for office want to say, well, it's just waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, trust me, it's not. It's not enough to do just waste, fraud, and abuse. Anybody who uses that phrase to say they're going to deal with a long-term economic crisis in terms of our stability as a nation is not being genuine. But is it part of it? Yeah, it's part of it, especially when it comes to the federal workforce.
Nicholas Balassi, CNSNews.com, The Capitol.
There's a real political risk here because